Hello everyone, Millie here from the future. Woo. Prepare your ears. My microphone has decided to die a proper death this time. You'll probably be able to figure it out quite quickly when the episode starts. So I'm hoping to get this rectified for E4. It just involves a nice little bit of saving. So I'm very sorry in advance for what your ear holes are about to experience. Content's the same, banter's good, sound quality not so much. If you hate it, totally fine. Feel free not to listen, although there is some very juicy gossip in these episodes.
Hello and welcome to the LARP News podcast with me, Bungle, and my wonderful co-host, Millie.
Hello. How we doing, Bungle?
Yeah, not doing too bad. Still recovering from E3. It was a very busy event for us all, I think.
Oh my god, yeah. But it busy, emotional, incredibly eventful. But I think actually it was one of my favourite events so far that I've had. Do you think you could say the same?
Yeah, no, it was a really good event. Lots of RP, lots of new RP as well.
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting.
Nice. Shall we start as all weekends do on a Friday?
Yep, have to be the Friday. I mean, obviously I rocked up on the Thursday night and just usual set up tent and then start hydrating as soon as everything was set up.
Yeah. Hydrating before dehydrating with the alcohol, am I right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
For the first time ever, I turned up this year actually, and I think probably the first LARP of the year that I've turned up before time in. I had a lovely time. We had somebody come to our camp. We had OC Jessica IC Solitaire come to our camp to preview our lovely little song that I commissioned her to make.
That was amazing.
It was so good, right? And so sweet. And like the melody was incredibly like whimsical and wonderful. And then if you actually listen to the lyrics, my God, it was threatening.
Oh yeah, it was the perfect sort of thing to use.
Yeah.
To send over to where it was going.
Yeah, it was going. So if you haven't listened to the pre-LARP episode, it was going to Kostya of the Crimson Reapers, who when he found out about the death of our dear Gellet Ashbourne, laughed at Agni's face. So I saw this post on the advertising and advertising group on Facebook. I was like, oh yes, I want to threaten somebody with a really beautiful song, and she did not disappoint. It was incredible. And then I did a little bit of birthday shopping as well, Bung.
Yeah, because obviously E3's your birthday event.
Hell yeah. So I went and I bought myself a new sword for Agni, because I had my first sword that I'd ever bought with Sinwig. With Callum, he bought it for me for my birthday, and it's just a little bit too short. And whilst size does not matter when you're going up against shields and spears, sometimes it does. It does very much matter.
Yes. Well, when it comes to swords, size can definitely benefit.
It definitely does matter. So yeah, I bought myself a slightly longer sword and a new dagger as well, which I was very excited about. Where did
very lovely looking sword as well.
Oh
nice
my God,
balance.
it's really nice, isn't it? Where did you time in, Bungle?
I timed in at the camp.
Oh my God.
Unsurprisingly. Yeah, I know. I tend to always be around camp when that time in hits.
Did anything exciting happen at time in?
There was a lot of people who were coming in from Thorunin. So were quite injured. I know Talis was injured on his turn up.
Yeah.
And a load of the people in the Embercast as well were turning up in various states of wounded and various, I think, poisonings and stuff, because obviously the Druge have destroyed Thorunin.
Wow.
As we mentioned in pre-LARP. So a lot of player characters who have their resources in Thorunin had the option to basically RP as if they've been fleeing the Druge invasion.
Oh my God. I know that it was a big thing for Talis all weekend, and we'll talk about it when we get in on Saturday. But it was really weird because I timed in opposite God because I just before time in I'd ran into a couple of people from Flying Lead, so like Chris and Esme and their group. And I was helping Esme build her character and just standing with her with God. And it's always really interesting, like eavesdropping in the queue for God. Because there were loads of people that were like, oh yeah, I got this traumatic injury and I got this one and this. And you're just there like, oh my God, this is going to be a fun time in.
Oh yes. I mean, there's people getting traumatic injuries in their player packs. You know it's going to be a good event. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you can get it pretty regularly. It just depends on when they get the wins out. Because by the time I got to the wins, I'd already missed the deadline for getting a traumatic injury, and because you have to email in to ask for one. I'd already missed the deadline, which was annoying. But yeah, I think if where I go for downtime offers traumatic injuries, I'm gonna get one in there next time.
Yes, I've got a feeling I think if we're going to the same place I am, there's a high possibility we may be getting the opportunity for traumatic wounds.
Hell yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. But yeah, so you had a fairly dramatic time in, do you think?
Wouldn't say it's dramatic. It was definitely less dramatic / traumatic than E1 this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my
God. That was obviously the most traumatic starting of an event I've had.
Yeah.
So yeah, thankfully no one was dead
that's
at
good.
the start of the event, so that's always good.
That's what we can hope for.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Trafford is missing presumed, but
oh God.
Oh no, I think he wasn't able to make for OC reasons.
Yeah.
It was just a awkward bit of timing on that, I think. So hopefully he'll be back for E4.
It's a shame, but because I came to Navarre straight after I'd finished at God via buying some tickets for the eel milking from Varushka. I came to standing just at, like, even though Trafford wasn't there, he'd sent in a really like fire and brimstone letter. And I can't remember, I don't know their IC name, very sorry. But it was a really good speaker. It was a Naga, and they were speaking out this letter, and it was incredible. And I was like, God damn it, Trafford, you beautiful bastard. He's done it again.
He is a master at the art of RP.
Oh my God, he's so good.
Whether in person or via letter.
Yeah. Did you go to standing?
I think I briefly popped along. I tend not to go along too much because I don't know. I tend to get a bit of the information I want from wins. I probably should go to standing more than I do. It sometimes can just take a bit too much out of a day when you've got so much stuff planned to do in the small amount of time you have on a Friday evening.
Yeah.
It's sometimes losing an hour or so to that sort of time, though. You could be going around to arrange stuff with people you haven't had a chance to get in touch with between events and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it is fair. I managed to make it from God to standing via the marches, and then go back to the marches, and then back to Navarre, all before standing had finished. So it does go on for a wee while. Yeah.
I mean, I understand obviously everyone wants to say what's going on, and there's obviously a load of people who want to speak as well, especially at the first standing. But like I say, it can just sometimes go on a bit too long, and I say, I mean, I'm not the most busiest of all people, but I do obviously do stuff with people in other nations.
Yeah.
So I tend to try and get a lot of that stuff arranged first thing on the Friday, really. Try and get that first person to go, we are doing this.
Yeah.
If that's before they go, oh, I'm sorry, I already spoken to this person, I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
So sometimes losing because standing starts at 6:30. And there's a bit of me that's left over from the old senatorial game days, which when I know there's a general election, I get really annoyed at how long standing takes, because then we have to go to Thorns Council to get the general election done.
Yeah.
And that has to be reported in at God before 8:00.
Yeah. Which general was up for election after standing?
This summit was Riz's, so that's the Blackthorns.
Oh, so Kara's old
yeah, so
as well.
Kara's old unit, So that went. I think there was 2 or 3 people standing against Riz, but it remained with the incumbent. Mm-hmm. So Riz held his seat, which I think was the sensible option at the moment. There's too much militarily going on. We don't want to start making shake-ups and completely changing our military build again.
Yeah, that seems fair.
And Riz knows what he's doing in that game. So
yeah, I think it's especially because it's the Blackthorns that are going into Tharun in this downtime, so it's kind of good. I think. But yeah, there was a lot of elections this summit as well, because Leafy, who is the Navari senator for Miaran, was up for re-election as well.
Oh yeah, I was in this summit.
It was a big event. Lots of meetings. I think Friday was like my busiest day. I did not stop from time in until time out. It was like not even to sit down or anything. It was rubbish.
You say that we got to sit down at the eel milking.
Yeah, but the eel milking, I had loads before the eel milking. Was that your first thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my God.
I did Thorns Council, and then without the senatorial game anymore and stuff like that, I've so much more free time.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good, right?
Yeah. Well, for me it is. Not for you anymore, is it?
Well, no. Like I had a wonderful little catch up with Rowan of the Wainstone Path, who is our current senator for Hikinia. I am now their proxy, which I'm very excited about. I actually am so excited to get back into the political game. I think it's going to be really fun. I
think you're going to smash it.
Well, he's hoping. But yeah, so I had a little catch up with her. And I knew that we had a meeting at 9:00 with a bunch of senators and or proxies to talk about what Hikinia wanted to achieve and what they wanted to get built and stuff. So I had a really quick catch up with them before they all ran off and did various different meetings, because I had a sword fighting lesson, Bung.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Is it Ian Yon Long Shadow?
I think Eon.
Yeah. It's one of those funny spelling names that sounds really beautiful, but it's like it's like Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was really fun because, as I've said before on the podcast, I used to do a lot of martial arts. So when it comes to actually hurting people and actually fighting, I'm quite good. Not great, but I know how to do it. And then you have LARP fighting, which is very much like, it basically is stage fighting, right? You do still get hit every now and then, but it's always important. It's always important to know how to do it safely and not to annoy or hurt anybody else around you.
Make it look good, but not hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was really nice because the person that plays Yon was the same. Like, they'd also done martial arts and stuff, so we had a nice little talk about how we can adapt how we were taught to do things, and make it safe and fun for the people fighting, rather than just like too anxiety inducing for me. So I took my friend Ed, who plays Owen, and then we did Ambi, we did one-handed, didn't do any shield work, but I think that's one. I don't have a shield, and
you need the skill shield if it's anything more than a 15-inch buckler as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then that took about half an hour, and then just before, because we had eel milking at 8, right? Which oh my God, so good. I came back to camp to come and pick everybody up because I had most of the tickets. And I found the Prince of the Crimson Reapers.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who actually has a name, I found out, this event. Which we'll get into later. And he had basically come over to talk about this strange song that had been sung in the Reapers camp in front of all of the Reapers, which I find so funny, because I did say to Solitaire, I was like, okay, it's supposed to just be for Kostya, But I'm sure that where Kostya will be at time in will be in the Reapers camp with all of the Reapers. So firstly, one, if you don't want to perform to that many people, totally fine. But also, if you do, it's going to be absolutely hilarious. So the prince had come over to negotiate with Agni, and Agni being who Agni is, inevitably the prince left incredibly angry, somewhat insulted, and had basically, because my whole game is that I only ever called him Prince. Because like, even though Agni spends a lot of time in the league, she doesn't know that there's more than one prince in the league. She only ever deals with the Crimson Reapers. So he said his name, which is Sikaro. I then said, "Oh, Sakuro," and started calling him Sakuro for the rest of the event. It was very
Agni.
Oh, I know, it's so good, isn't it? I love antagonizing characters, especially when, because like OC, me and Reese do check-ins like every event. We're just like, you up for it? Yeah, absolutely, cool, excellent, no holds barred, let's go. And yeah, so he left with the mildly threatening, "You better learn my name or else there'll be another reckoning." But I didn't care about
curses
that.
we get stacked on you. Yeah?
Oh god, I hope not. A brand for every cheek. But yeah, so I didn't have time to worry about the name of the Prince of the Crimson Reapers because we had to go to the eel milking, Bung.
We did.
It was I love it when the eel milking's in town. It is so fun.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing show. I think it's done by Frankie, isn't it?
Yeah, so Frankie, who oh god, I think I know from their business cards outside the front. I don't think it's Frankie's business cards, but Engraved Danger is the Etsy shop. I know that much. Wow. There are other Etsy shops available, which anybody who goes on Etsy will know. There are so many. But they just had, I got so transfixed by their little camp area because they had wooden engraved eel milking merch. They had loads of really good stuff that I couldn't afford because I was spending all of my money on the tickets for the eel milking.
Yeah.
Because it was me, you. I invited Goldie along because I thought it was about time that instead of leaguish theatre that we never get to, he comes along for an educational lecture on eel milking. Talis, and then Esteban, I bought a ticket for him. But with the heat and everything, there was a bit of a mix-up with where we were supposed to meet. We'd agreed on me meeting him at his camp and taking him over. But he forgot and came instead to our camp. But we obviously had already gone.
Weren't there?
So it was a bit of a mix-up, but it meant that we had a spare ticket, which I gave back to the blind eye to sell on, or just to give to somebody for free. Where were you sat in the eel milking, Bung?
Well, we were sat right in the splash zone. So I was sat more in the splash zone than you because Goldie was sat right directly in front of you.
I know, it was so good. It was almost poetic. He did turn up slightly late, so I think that's why. He then sat in front of me and I was like, excellent, I now have a human shield. I've
seen some of the pictures. You're definitely using him as one.
Oh my god, yes. I mean, that's what leaguish little half cloaks are for, right?
Exactly. He was hiding behind that and you were hiding behind him.
Yeah, perfect. It's all good. I cannot wait. I've seen some of the photos already from Ollie and a couple of other people, and they're so good. I cannot wait to see Ben's.
Yeah, I managed to catch a bit of the Ben stream where he was editing stuff from the eel milking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because he's from the opposite angle to Ollie's.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So there's some good shots in there.
Oh, good. I cannot wait. I like a good weather and no rain means so many photographers about, which was really nice as well.
So there was definitely a lot more photographers about this summit. Just going by what I've seen in the photo forum.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a couple of photographers out in the field, but either my brain is getting better at ignoring them, or they are.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some of the togs like I think it's Krios and Chris, either Thomas or James, I can't remember what his second name is, but they disguise their cameras. They either cover them in cloaks or cover the lenses in Hessian, which I think is a really nice little thing. Like, obviously I'm not saying you have to do that, but it's a nice little way of, it makes you even more undercover as well, because it's like what that first thing you do when you see a camera is you kind of like, oh God, do I look all right? And it kind of takes you out of the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You say that. If I spot a camera, my main thing is I don't stare at it.
Whatever you do, don't look down the barrel.
Yeah, never spike the lens. Just never spike it. You look so much more dramatic if you're looking over into the distance rather than looking directly at the camera.
Always look over the left shoulder of the photographer. That's what my trick is. You got to find which side is your best side, though, Bung.
Exactly. I don't know which one smoulders the most.
Which one smoulders the best?
Exactly.
Would you like blue steel or blue steel?
Oh, we're going to go for the Magnum.
Oh my God. So diverse.
Yeah.
But yeah, the eel milking, I thought it was going to take an hour. But we finished in good time with the eel milking, which was nice.
Yeah. It's not too long a show, but it is, if you get a chance, and if and when it comes back,
oh my God, get
a
yourself
ticket and go see the eel milking.
I think it's really considerate of them to also only set ticket prices at 15 rings.
Yeah.
Because what it means that everyone has it, even like new players who have only 18 rings in their pack can still afford a ticket. Admittedly, once you go there, you won't be able to afford anything else until you trade something. But although I did hear a rumor that in the Jackdaw camp, they were having like 3-ring pints or something. I can't remember.
Ooh.
Other bars are available throughout Anvil. But I quite like the fact that traders and theatres and merchants are trying really hard to like combat the inflation that's happened with the IC money.
Because overall as an empire, a ring should be able to buy you a decent meal, a drink, in a decent inn. Whereas obviously at Anvil, you can't really get much for one ring.
No, you really can't.
No.
But yeah, after the eel milking, did you go off and do anything?
Not hugely. I ended up having a bit of an evening with Talis.
Oh my God.
I know. Oh dear God, that man.
One thing I will say is that it was really nice to spend more time with Ian and Talis this weekend. Like both of them, like the same person, but you know what I mean. Like
I think both Friday and Saturday night I spent a lot of time with Talis.
Yeah.
So it's also quite interesting to see what he gets up to be honest.
God, do you remember where you went at all?
Not really. I was drinking Embercar cider as well.
God.
Yeah.
God.
I basically remember we stumbled around for a fair bit, went to several bars.
Yeah.
And then ended up at the Waystone Wieners, just hanging out there and just chatting.
Oh my God,
until the wee hours of the morning.
Those sausages.
Oh, perfect.
But they're just what you need, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like a really good, the sausages are a good mouthful. They're very juicy and incredibly filling and delicious. And feel free to save those sound bites. Just credit the Lot Noobs for them. But I got to have one this weekend as well, because part of my proxy agreement with Rowan is that I get free Waystone Wieners whilst I'm working with them, which is very exciting.
Didn't get any free ones for your husband, though, did you?
Well, my husband did not ask for one, because my husband did not get one for me when he was drinking around the Waystone Wieners all evening. And I made you a sandwich, so you get to fuck. You absolutely get to fuck.
Yeah, it's fine. My wife did make me a sandwich on the Saturday.
And how was the sandwich?
Amazing.
Thank you.
It was to die for.
Oh, foreshadowing. Yeah, after the eel milking, oh my God, I had such a busy Friday. We had the meeting at the Waystone Path with Rowan, and I'm trying to remember how many other senators and or proxies were there. Because I know the senator for Scarson was there, which is always lovely, because I've been trying to have a meeting and a catch up with him for the entire year, but because he's
beer
such
and cake keeps failing.
Oh my god, it really does. But sausages and mead are now going to be the thing. I think it's going to have to be Waystone Wiener and mead meetings.
Yeah.
But it's always nice. It's always nice to see characters that you love interacting with and actually having good quality one-on-one time together. So yeah, that was really nice. And also to talk about, let's pause for a little bit of a tangent, which we're very unused to on this podcast. Can we just
tangent?
Oh no, never. I'm just gonna fangirl over Rowan and the person that plays them for a second, because not only have they created like a little pigeonhole system to combat the fact that you can never find generals or senators or anything at Navarre, so they've created little pigeonholes with hand-painted pins and labels to denote which pigeonhole is for what person.
Oh.
They also, in their camp, have an entire map of the Empire with pins for where the armies are and what the armies are doing and where the enemy's armies are.
Jesus.
So good.
Well, it's because Waystone, they've got, obviously, Cadwell is general of Azalea's dance.
Yeah.
So they've got both a senator and a general in their group.
Oh my god.
So you're going to have that sort of thing in a camp for those two is definitely...
I am such a fan. Like,
yeah.
You will find me wearing a number one fan t-shirt next event.
Oh yeah, the Waystone Path, the whole lot of them are absolutely awesome players.
Yeah. It's such a nice camp as well because it's right opposite the Drunken Goose.
Yeah.
So you can get yourself a sausage, get yourself a little drink from the Drunken Goose and have a lovely old time. It's like perfect. Yeah. But anyway, tangent aside, at this meeting we also had printed booklets. Oh god. Please. Printed booklets about the roads, which is what Rowan wants to kind of steamroll and get going, because it's actually a really useful thing. It's just loads of build slots.
Yeah.
And in the booklet, which is printed by Travid, just honestly, a huge fangirl over all of our senators right now here. And Leafy is just incredible in general. So, winner of every single staring contest. Ridiculous.
Oh no, you beat him once over this weekend.
Yeah, but I may or may not have had to blow in his eyes and face him towards the sun, so he was struggling anyway.
No, I remember there's one at our camp where you beat him because he was tired.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only time I can ever beat him at a bloody staring contest. But anyway, I digress. The tools and icy implements that our senators are bringing to Anvil, I fear, Bung, that I will never be a Navarre senator because I cannot compete with this. It's too good.
Dave didn't bring anything, and he was still a good senator.
Yeah, I know, it's so true. But I don't want to. I want these to carry on existing and being incredible.
Okay, so you'd want to keep doing like they're doing now rather than...
Oh my god, yeah. I
yeah.
Even though I only spent about 20 minutes with Rowan this weekend, I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, they're just an amazing person.
They really are. And I got free sausage and free mead. So, we win.
Yep.
But enough of a tangent. I had to leave that meeting with them and the senators after about half hour because I had to go and break the fourth wall and become an NPC for an hour.
Yeah.
Or 3. Which it was a post that PD had put out. How long before the event? It was about 2 weeks before the event, do you think?
Yeah, trying to remember when that was.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks out.
Yeah, and it was sort of like, email in, say you're interested, and we'll get back to you. So I did it. I threw the email in, and the basic brief was, you'll have to be a Navarre NPC. And I was like, Navarre kit? Fuck yeah, I've got that. Emailed in, didn't hear anything until... I think it was like the 21st.
Ooh.
And the email was, we'll get back to you after the 19th. So I was like, okay, I'm a bit confused. Either I'm the 19th person in the queue.
Yeah.
Or it was supposed to be the 19th of July and I didn't know. So I got a bit confused. I was just assuming I didn't get it. Did get it. So I had to go and put loads of stars on my face.
Ooh.
And because Agni's makeup is very identifiable.
Yeah.
So I had to like properly change out of everything, and I got waylaid by a couple of people, so I was running quite late. I got really nervous that I wasn't going to make it to the little NPC muster because it was at 10 to 10 when we were supposed to muster. But made it just in time. We got a really nice brief from a member of the, I'm going to say skirmish crew, but I don't know. But it was a really good brief. Yeah. We each got little slips of paper detailing what our character motivations were and things. And then we got shoved out onto the skirmish. It was a non-com skirmish, so we didn't have to take any weapons. So it was quite nice. It was nice because I don't get to go on any skirmishes as Agni.
Yeah.
It was quite nice to experience it from the other side. And plus crewing is always fun.
Yeah.
And I was there with oh my god, Little Worm and with Nia. Former members of my striding. And it was just really nice to just sit and have a chat because you can have OC chats while you're waiting for the skirmish to start because you're not in character, which is really nice.
Yeah, to have a proper catch up.
Yeah, so that was really good. But I finished that at like 5 to 11.
Yeah, and then where did you have to be?
Oh, I had to go. You know how I antagonized the Prince of the Crimson Reapers?
Yep.
I antagonized him so much that he forced me to go to Prince's meeting.
How fun!
It was, to be fair. So I had a big breakthrough with Millie Brain this summit. It was actually really interesting going and learning about how League-ish characters do the political game and do like Prince's game. And even though, because obviously Tom from LARPs and TARPs talks about it a lot and says that it goes on for a while, it really did. And oh my god, it went on for ages. But yeah, so I got forced to turn up to Prince's meeting. It was really interesting. I mean, I don't think Reese found this very helpful at all, but I really liked being the sort of informant on his shoulder. Because we had the senator for Sarvos, I think it was, or could have been Spiral, talking about their planned appraisal that they wanted to put forward. And for anyone who doesn't know, you can only put through, how many appraisal slots is it per event? I think it's one.
I think it's 1 or 2 appraisal slots are available to be used.
Yeah, so you've got a very limited amount of appraisals per summit, basically.
Yeah,
it's the same with build slots. You've only got 1 build slot. 1 senators each have a motion each, and they each have a second each. So it's like you know that there are limits. So when the senator in question was talking about what their plan was, I was kind of like, I spoke to the prince and I was like, you do know that I know of at least 4 other senators that are going for appraisal slots. And from what I'm hearing of this, Senate is going to prioritize their build slots and their appraisal slots over this one, which I don't think Reese used any of that information. But it was really fun for me.
Exactly, using the information that Agni has picked up on her travels.
Right. I fucking love the politics. Like, the politics game, whilst boring and long-winded, can actually be really exciting. And yes, I'm a nerd, dear listeners. Yes, I'm a nerd.
We all are, dear.
Yeah. But the prince, I thought that I'd won his favour by being a very useful informant. I had not. Because
you clearly antagonised him enough to that not to be enough to do.
It was upsetting because at the end of the princes meeting, which a great many number of princes were at, he called another reckoning. And that reckoning was that I had to go around and write down the full name of every single prince at that meeting.
Yeah, and how many pages does Sicaros take?
3. It takes up a lot.
Yeah.
But also as well, he definitely... Right, let me get the book out.
I think some of them were definitely him taking the mickey.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a very serious name. I think you'll find. Do not insult the prince. Not when Agni's around. But so you've got the first one in my book. Most importantly, is Nicamo Van Dyer, Count of Vagabonds and Merchant Prince of the Jolly Jackdaws.
Yeah.
So that's easy. But bearing in mind that I was quite drunk at this point, my handwriting goes downhill fast. So you've got Cicero Horison or Corison, I don't know, von Temeshoir, Prince of the Crimson Reapers, the Pauper Prince, the real arms of the League, the backbone of the Crimson Reapers, the chosen face of the... page 10. Chosen face of the Reapers, Lord of the Winters, Master of the Black Ring, I think, Ring Giver and Ring Receiver, the Master of the Lord of Death, Herald of Virtues, I think, Supplier. Oh, this one was my favourite. Betterer of Changelings. And then
that's not at all targeted.
No, not at all. I then also added "fuck you" in there somewhere, and then it was like the most virtuous of crowns, and girth is not a virtue, and that he can outlift everyone in the league. So, I mean that given that is in my book, you can tell how drunk we were at this point, and it was quite good fun. But once Cicero, definitely not Succaro, had finished ridiculing me, I had a really nice night with the Reapers. Elle had set out a really nice table. Like, I love Elle so much. Because it was wine club, and wine club was like a competition with various different wines. Everybody bought a bottle of wine, and we did a little taste test. And it was a competition to see who's the best was, but then the worst wine got a medal.
Okay.
Which was so funny. Because I was having a lovely time. I was like, free alcohol, get in.
Can't complain.
And then I think after we did the majority of the wine tasting, I think Nietzsche and Cicero had a sword fight to decide who was the worst wine, because both of them wanted the medal.
Okay.
And I think obviously because we're drunk and it's dark and all people could hear were the thwacks of their swords against. It was so funny. Honestly, I want to get to wine club every event now, but I don't think I'll get back.
No.
It was so good. But I ended up just sort of sitting and chatting around Reapers and mooching on until I think it was gone 3 a.m. by the time I got back to the camp.
No idea. I think I've got vague recollections of hearing you coming back into the tent. But
yeah, I am now the Ian of the podcast.
Oh yeah, you're definitely the dirty stop out.
Oh my god.
I'm all tucked up nicely in bed, all cozy.
Yeah, you're Dave. I think Dave went to bed at like 10 o'clock, didn't he?
It wasn't
which is a very wise and vigilant decision, especially if
when
you
battling
have
the following day.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's what we got the post that Navarre was battling. We were going to Thorunin.
Yeah, Thorunin. Off to Thorunin to defend Talis' hometown.
Yeah. So we all knew we had to battle in the morning. Drunk Agni did not care of this at this point. As I moseyed on back to the tent at way past my bedtime.
Yeah.
But I think the Friday was my busiest day of the entire event, but it was also the most fun day.
That's the main thing, as long as you had a really fun time.
Yeah, it was really good. It was nice to get back into the political game. It was nice to see everybody for a decent amount of time before, like I normally do when I turn up when everybody's already half drunk.
You got to see people get drunk rather than just be drunk.
And I got to spend some good time with Goldie, have a good catch up with him.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see Esteban, you bastard Esteban. But I did discover that there are songs in the Brass Coast that the Freeborns sing of Esteban and how notoriously bad to find. Like, he's impossible to track down, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think a bright blue changeling.
Esteban's not a bright blue changeling.
I thought you usually have like a blue turban. Or
yeah, blue. He has a lot of blue and gold kit.
Yeah, that's how I recognise Esteban, is by spotting the blue kit.
Yeah,
basically.
And the outrageous flirt that he is.
Oh yeah.
But I have so much love for Esteban. It's why I try and meet him every summit, and it never goes well.
Oh well. There's always E4.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there is. I need to sort some stuff out before E4, I think. But yeah, how was your Friday, Bung?
Yeah, it was really good. Like I say, I just ended up just chilling out and having a load of drinks and chatting to loads of random people.
Nice.
And stumbling about and then going to bed.
That's
always lovely.
Oh my god, it's actually, and also the weather.
Yeah, the weather. I mean, we had a little bit of drizzle on the Friday morning, I want to say. Well, a little bit overnight on sort of Thursday night, Friday morning. But that was it for the entire weekend, which meant it was dry kit, dry pack down. I caught a bit too much sun on my face, and even though I had been putting on my sun cream, I'd obviously put it on a little bit too late one day and had a little bit of redness to my face. But
yeah, it happens. But just remember your SPF, kids, for the next time. It's
yes.
Very important.
I'm definitely an SPF 50 person now. I used to be like, I need like 8 or 16. It's like, nope.
No, you need the full whack. I think you don't realise it because everybody's wearing makeup, especially when you've got like changeling makeup on. But you're like, no. SPF first, and then finish it off with the spray on SPF afterwards.
Definitely.
Sorry, resident camp mum is going to go away again now.
Thanks, Mum.
Oh my god. Should we round out the episode and say thank you so much to our Patreons?
Yeah, we think we should. So yeah, thank you very much, our Patreons. And we're going to round out the episode here.
Yeah, thank you. Love you, goodbye. Thank you so much to everybody who supports our podcast. Even if you comment, say a like, do various little bits and bobs. Everything that you do helps keep us going. And in particular, thank you so much to Josh, who joined us in August. So thank you so much, Josh.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
Oh, no. Wait, it is August now. Joined us in February. There we go. I can read.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. But thank you to everyone. And thank you so much for just, like, I had, over the course of the weekend, I had a load of people stop me and just say, I listened to you. Thank you so much for doing the podcast. Thank you for doing that. I always feel really awkward whenever people try and talk to me and I'm like, oh God, help. It's actual interaction with people. So I do appreciate you, even if I don't. I had a very emotional weekend.
Which we'll get on to later in this, in the next few episodes.
Yeah. But hey, Bung.
Yeah.
Strength the Empire.
Strength to Navarre.